This video is by Sunny V2, Mike Tyson from 600 million to broke.
Despite earning $600 million over the course of 6 years, Mike Tyson celebrated
That's
his
a lot of money,
36th
cuz.
birthday with a bank account reading 0. So how did Mike Tyson go bankrupt? Well,
GG's.
Tyson made it clear that a financial education wasn't a part of his childhood,
From a broke background, 'cause I never really learned the art of handling money as a kid.
which became a problem as he began to
And
earn
that's more a common thing. That's even for anybody, not even the fact that he came from a poor background. It's just a lot of people, even adults, don't know how money really works and they don't know how to keep money. Now, when you talking 600 million, living paycheck to paycheck is just as common for people making 6 figures or 7 figures as it is people who make $40,000 a year, from what I know. You know what I'm saying? So financial literacy is like learning how to tie your shoe, honestly.
millions.
Spend
whilst
less than
he
what
was
you
still
make.
a
Spend like
teenager. After becoming
60% of what you
champion at
make.
the age of only 20, Mike Tyson began to average $7.5 million per fight, and this
Jesus
didn't even
Christ.
include his other sources of income. He was paid over $50 million in casino deals, $3.5 million for a WrestleMania guest appearance, while Mike Tyson's Punch-Out sold 2 million copies during its very first year. By 1990, Mike Tyson was credited as the highest paid athlete in the world, with an estimated $28.6 million in income this year, although all of this changed when he was sent to prison only 2 years later. Between 1992 and his release in 1995, Mike Tyson was unable to earn a single dollar, although as summarized by this CBS article, he was
GG's. I had my mic muted. GG's. But at that point, I muted my mic. I had to say something to my girl. At that point, you've made so much money to where you really don't need to make no more money. Cuz I think the normal person living a normal life, you can live actually very high up, very like high end, upper class with 10 million for the rest of your life. You know what I'm saying? As long as you don't go buy no Lamborghinis, you good, cuz. Just get you some nice, stable, nice stable car, you be fine, bro.
wasn't exactly struggling when he finally walked free. Most Indiana prisoners are given $75 in spending money
don't
to
need
ease
that.
their transition back into society.
You don't need
Tyson needed no such help. The former heavyweight champion had 2 checks, each made out to him for $10
Jesus
million.
Christ,
In the next few
dog.
weeks, Tyson will get another
Got
$12
that
million
money
for the
on.
rights to future fights and television. A few months later, he earned the most money ever given to a boxer, $25 million, to fight a stiff named Peter McNeely. Over the next 2 years, Tyson earned a further $140 million from 5 different fights, making him feel invincible.
Money is a false sense of security.
False sense of security. Nothing about
Look at
it
Joe
could be
Budden.
a
You feel
real.
invincible with money.
Okay.
You feel like you can't even die.
Which, when combined with a bitterness from his time spent in prison, caused Tyson to begin spending everything.
For me being poor, never having anything, for me being bitter, angry for being in prison, it stems from a lot of things.
Firstly, there were the cars. According to CBS, Tyson
Bro.
reportedly bought 110 cars either for himself or his
Bro's a walking dealership. Hold up. Let me turn my mic down because I feel like I'm peeking. Bro is literally a walking dealership, not even gonna lie. 110 cars is crazy. What are you talking about?
gifts, one of which being a $320,000 Bentley Azure, the most expensive production car in the world. Tyson bought it and ordered 4 more. In the space of a
Jesus
few
Christ,
minutes, he had
gang.
spent more than $1.5 million, while in a different instance, Tyson showed up at a car dealership just outside New York to buy another car. He bought a Ferrari for $300,000, declining a test drive because he already had one just like it. On a different day, Tyson was pulled over whilst driving his Rolls Royce without a license, but was able to get out of trouble by giving the car to the cop.
You know, sir, why don't you just take the car? You know, you deserve it because you've been doing a lot. Because I didn't want to get arrested. I didn't have a license or anything.
Right.
I didn't want my wife to get in trouble.
Bro, you get arrested by somebody, you say, you know what? You like this car? Well, I mean, sir, it's all right. You can have it. Just let me, I'll call somebody to come pick me up. That's the biggest flex move I've ever seen in my life, bro. That's how you know you got some money on.
Just take it. You know, it was around 230 at the time, and they took
Wow.
This didn't end well for the officer.
it. He got fired.
He did?
Yeah, yeah.
That's crazy.
Although it did end well for Tyson's friend Ed Lover, who was given a Bentley so he could drive home from a club.
He goes, here, take the car. I'm like, okay. He gives me the Bentley. A month go by, I still have this car. He said, I wanted you to have that car. He said, I gave you that car.
With so many vehicles,
That's
Tyson
insane.
needed somewhere to store them, purchasing
Jesus
mansions in Las
Christ.
Vegas, Ohio, and Maryland. However, these were nothing compared to the house he bought in Connecticut. It featured 21 bedrooms and 35 bathrooms.
You got more bedrooms than you got bathrooms? 21 bedrooms, 35 bathrooms. So that means for a month and almost a week, you could take a dump in a different bathroom. Oh my goodness. Bro, your bathroom get dirty, you just switch bathrooms. What you talking about? You can do you can take a dookie in a different bathroom every day. Imagine the amount of money that you gotta put in like toilet paper, towels, shampoo. Cause shampoo kinda expensive. So you get some good shampoo. You know what I'm saying? Deodorant, all that money to like fill up these bathrooms is crazy, bro.
As well as a full-blown nightclub, a movie theater, a mini casino,
insane, bro.
a squash court, and a fully spec'd out proper commercial gym. But
That's
this was
insane.
only the inside. Outside, there was a full-size basketball court, a swimming pool with its
50 Cent bought it. You see all the G Unit propaganda? 50 Cent bought that thing.
own grotto, and get this, its own lake,
grotto?
lake house, and fountain on a 17.6 acre block. If the house looks familiar, it's because Tyson eventually sold it to 50 Cent, who called it his biggest financial mistake.
What was the most like when you wasted money?
The Tyson crib was like that.
Mainly because of how much the property cost to run.
How much was the upkeep, guesstimate
Upkeep
per
was
year?
About 700,000.
A year.
Tyson expanded on this in a different interview.
It's gonna
There's more than everybody that you know make a year. 700,000 just to upkeep that house? Bruh.
Cost him $25,000 just to mow the lawn. Right.
Which when combined with his other houses meant gardening bills
Cuh.
alone mounted to $100,000.
Cuh, I'm
Although the
good.
gardener was still a minor expense compared to the things Tyson bought for these houses. As a gift for his first wife, Robin Givens, Mike spent $2.2 million on a solid gold bathtub, which was followed by their divorce less than a year later,
ridiculous.
which cost Mike a further $10 million in legal
Hey, that low key ridiculous. I ain't gonna lie to you, gang.
fees and compensation. Tyson had also dropped $410,000 on a birthday party and $140,000 on 2 white Bengal tigers, which needed their own specialty enclosure, $200,000 a year worth of food, and their
He's sitting here wrestling a tiger. It's crazy.
own animal trainer, which Mike hired at a cost of $125,000 a year. Mike also had to pay a friend $250,000 in compensation after they were bitten by one of the tigers, although there was another bite that cost Tyson even more. During a match in 1997,
Oh,
Evander
GGs.
Holyfield headbutted Tyson, who in retaliation bit a portion of Holyfield's ear off. Tyson was disqualified and fined $3 million, although it seemed he hadn't learned his lesson, as he then bit Lennox Lewis's leg during a press conference, warranting another $335,000 fine. In the
What's up with him
process,
and
Tyson
biting fool. That's like the most nastiest thing you can do is bite somebody. Like what? You don't know what kind of skin infection that person got, bro.
employed over 200 different people, including chefs, chauffeurs, and bodyguards, the most pointless of which being a guy nicknamed Crocodile, whose sole function was to dress in fatigues and repeatedly shout guerrilla warfare at Tyson's news conferences, for which he was paid $300,000 in 1996. In another crazy instance, Tyson walked
That's
into a club
ridiculous.
and offered to pay for everybody
This what happened when you try to bring the hood with you, gang. I'm not even gonna lie. This what happened when you try to bring everybody from the hood with you. Look at this woman looking at Tyson, bro. She looking like, my husband left to go get the car, but I want to leave with you, sir. You see how she looking him down? Bro probably got a Versace shirt on.
body's drinks all night.
Mike calls me over again. Ed, come here. I go, what's up, Mike? Tell the DJ I got the bar until the club closed. I said, what are you talking about? I'm buying the bar out. Everybody can have whatever they want.
However, there was one final expense that
That's
was higher than
crazy.
any other.
Do you regret anything?
Yeah, and I didn't pay taxes really at that time.
That'll get you, yeah.
It was revealed in 2003 that Tyson owed $13.4 million to the IRS, $117,000 to 5 different states, as well as $4 million to British tax authorities, and things
Jesus
only
Christ,
got worse
dog.
from here. Turns out most of Mike's luxury purchases were being made on credit, and as a result, he also owed $27 million to various different businesses, including $600,000 to a legal company, $500,000 to his finance manager, and $800,000 to a former trainer,
Jesus
all of which was
Christ.
stacked on top of a second divorce. Tyson owes
Why why you keep getting married if you're gonna get divorced, gang? I'm just like, just don't even get married, bro. What's the point of even getting married? You know what I'm saying? Like, just don't get married no more. It's over with. GG.
money to at least 246 creditors, including the Internal Revenue Service, the Screen Actors Guild, and dozens of doctors, lawyers, and accountants. Tyson owes his ex-wife Monica Turner almost $9 million from their divorce, and he hasn't paid $19.4 million in taxes to the IRS, Great Britain, and 5 states, which was an extra large problem as Tyson was down to his last $1,250 in cash. Tyson, 38,
Christ.
said all of his houses have been sold or seized, and he owns only one car, albeit a white Hummer SUV, newly purchased and apparently not yet paid for. According to bank records Tyson's attorney submitted to the US bankruptcy court, Tyson earned $38 during January. His living expenses during that month were more than $407,000.
$38 for what? What did he do to get $38.38? That's crazy. What the world? They just picked a random number, I think.
Mike Tyson was completely and utterly screwed. However, he devised a plan to get himself out of trouble. Tyson's reorganization plan is ambitious. He hopes to earn at least $19.5 million from boxing over the next 3 years to help satisfy his creditors, although this isn't what would happen. In fact, he'd lose both of his next 2 professional fights before retiring
Jeez.
from boxing and filing for bankruptcy. At the time, he'd state, "My whole life has been a waste. I've been a failure. I just want to escape. I'm really embarrassed with myself and my life. I want to be a missionary. I think I could do that while keeping my dignity without letting people know they chased me out of the country. I want to get this part of my life over as soon as possible. In this country, nothing good is going to come of me. I'm so stigmatized there is no way I can elevate myself."
And you know what's so crazy about this, bro? He worked so hard to get to the level he did just for, I guess, his own bad decisions or the people in his circle to like lure him to make bad decisions. In a lot of ways, I wish that Costamato was still around to kind of guide him, because that was kind of his father figure. If you don't know who that is, that's the guy who pretty much, from what I know, he pretty much invented the peekaboo style of boxing. And the only person that could perfect it, and even to this day, no one has been able to perfect it because of the body style and the power that Mike Tyson had. He was the only one that could perfect it. And Costamato was I guess, the godfather of that style. And ever since he died, it just seems like his whole life, his boxing career, his financial career, everything, his love life, and I'm pretty sure he ain't got nothing to do with his love life, but even his love life fell off a cliff. So maybe in a different universe, it would have been a lot different.
I'll never be happy. I believe I'll die alone. I would want it that way. I've been a loner all my life with my secrets and my pain. I'm really lost, but I'm trying to find myself. I'm a really sad, pathetic case. With nothing else to do, Mike
That's
spent his
horrible.
days caring for 350 unique pigeons, a collection which prior to bankruptcy, he'd paid $400,000 for. He'd later liken his spending habits to a drug addiction.
It's like the drugs. You might as well say you have it all, but it's still that empty hole that you're trying to fulfill. You spend as much as you can to try to get that satisfaction, fulfill that hole. It just is bottomless.
However, Tyson's life wasn't finished yet. Losing everything had taught Tyson a valuable lesson,
I know the power of humbleness now.
How did you learn that?
I have to lose everything.
with humility acting as a baseline.
But you
for
know
him.
what? You know what makes that you can't pick at Mike Tyson? Not only that he's dangerous, he'll probably punch you and knock your head off. Not just that, the fact that he knows he messed up. And he openly says, I messed up. I'm addicted to spending money. And that's why people to the day, people still carry a respect for Mike Tyson. Not only was he one of the most exciting boxers of all time, he admit that he messed up. And when it comes to honesty, sometimes knowing that you messed up can And saying that off gate, not trying to, oh, well, it's this fault, person's fault. Just admitting that it's your fault can change the whole identity of how people see you, or you know what I'm saying, the way that people treat you after the fact.
To rebuild his life. Tyson took the lessons he'd learnt and transformed them into a book, whilst his life story was also the perfect premise for his own documentary. On top of this, Mike landed a cameo role in both The Hangover 1 and 2, for which he was paid $300,000. Through these various media appearances, Mike was able to rebuy himself a pretty awesome house in Vegas, although he refused to let money dictate his happiness.
Is there anybody that thinks a lot of money is going to make them happy? They never had a lot of money.
Because it don't make you happy.
And think about that, Mike. This is coming from someone who made some of the most money anybody will ever make. No matter if you become a rapper, no matter if you become a Bitcoin investor, bro probably made more money than you'll ever make. So that's coming from somebody who's already been to the top of the game, bro. So ain't nobody gonna say money gonna make them happy if somebody who had all the money says it's not gonna make you happy. For real. And he's like the Adrian Broner had the exact same story in a lot of ways as Mike Tyson, but Adrian Broner just not humble enough to admit that he messed up. You messed up, gang.
No, it's gonna make you miserable. It can make you hate yourself.
Since then, Mike has launched his own extremely successful podcast called Hotboxin' and built a net worth of $10 million.
And he didn't say nothing about the Jake Paul fight, which he made a good deal of money off of. So shouts out to Mike Tyson. Shouts out to Jake Paul for giving him that opportunity.